Welcome to the Research Works podcast. My name is Dr. Dana Poole and I get the privilege of bringing to you a very special series this week. I am here in Slovenia at the European Academy of Childhood Disability, interviewing the researchers and presenters about their work. This is very exciting and I can't wait for you to delve into this whole research conference series. We hope you enjoy the series. Welcome back, everyone. Research Works podcast, a special edition conference series here at EACD Slovenia 2023. Like I've been saying before, amazing presentations and posters alike. And I love that we get to talk about some of the posters. There are over 300 posters here, and that's just such a breadth of information and research that's been happening. And it's been lovely to be able to go into some of them in a bit more detail. And so we do have one of the poster authors right here today joining us on the show. Welcome, Dr. Cristina Simon-Martinez. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So you're from the University of Applied Sciences in Valais in Switzerland. Goodness me, Switzerland just sounds like such a beautiful, idyllic place to live. Was it far to travel to get here?
No, it was very nice. I just took a train to Zurich and then I came here by plane and it was all nice.
Lovely, lovely. It's been such a lovely place to come and meet so many people from different countries and just to be able to see the kind of work that people have been doing. Your work is really intriguing because I can see how topical it would be and how it could be used. And so the name of your poster was RehaBot, a chatbot between therapists and patients to establish telerehabilitation programs and quantify their outcome. Great words in there. And the minute you say telehealth, telerehab, everyone's like, oh my goodness, we were living there and we could still be there. How does this look like? So tell me a little bit about how you and your team came to do this kind of work.
Yeah, so this was a collaboration between the University of Valladolid and the University of Applied Sciences in Switzerland. We started collaborating right after my PhD in 2019, and we got many ideas on how we could collaborate in the field of biomechanics and motion analysis, because that was also part of my PhD.
Ah, great.
So we thought, what about if we actually bring all this to home, to monitoring the patients, how they are doing, and how we can maybe evaluate if they are doing it also at home and not only the clinics, because lab-based motion analysis is also very
different,
very specific. How they move there and how maybe they want to show you their best and it's not exactly what they are going to do every day. So we thought about bringing that home and then doing this telerehab to monitor also what they were doing there. And we decided to develop a chatbot. So a chatbot is a communication platform that we developed in Telegram, and is now in Telegram in the Messenger application, because they have an API where it's very easy to develop a chatbot or to connect to a chatbot. So it's not any artificial intelligence-based system. It's just a chatbot of if/or coding system, and it's going to talk a little bit with the participant, with the family, or with the patient. How are you doing today? Welcome back to the session. So we make it a little bit more motivating so that they actually can do the exercise. What we wanted to do actually was to replace what the physios normally tell them. Okay, at home this week you are going to do this and this exercise, and then maybe make some schema in a paper, and don't forget to do these repetitions. And so normally, or maybe they write a better report on what they have to do, but this is not really motivated. And the paper, as a mom, I think I would put in my bag and I would say, okay, let's go to the next appointment or to the next thing, and then you just forget about it, or the next appointment arrives and the paper, I didn't do it. So we wanted to have this system that also allows the patient to program the notifications and to set reminders on when they can do the exercises. And it sends videos that the physio can do individually for this specific patient. So when you do it in the session, you kind of record yourself on which video they have to do at home. They upload it there, they create their session, how many repetitions they have to do, with a little bit of the description, and it's sent off to that specific patient. And the program can be for 2-3 weeks, or for the time that the physio actually thinks is important, if they are going to train more strength or more fine motricity or balance or other type of therapeutic objectives. So everything is set up more in a functional way and not on very analytic movements, of course.
Yeah, sure. It's like a beautiful ecosystem that you've created there to allow sort of that interaction. And it's also just sounds like something that, I mean, it's the way the world's headed, isn't it? Like we are using technology more and more, and we need to find different avenues of how we can use it. I imagine this became something that was quite useful during the pandemic to communicate with families and...
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So all this started right before the pandemic, and we thought, okay, we will need to have to convince people to use it or to show them how to use the technology. But actually the pandemic did us a favor, because everyone got something like this installed or were using already something like this, and they found already in their experience the advantage of using these things. So that was already very nice.
It's amazing.
And we thought, okay, the pandemic did actually that job for us. And now we only have to actually make it better than other applications that are out there.
Okay.
We know, or I'm aware actually that not every application is for everyone. So in the field of neurodevelopmental disabilities, every child is unique. Every family is unique. They work in different ways, and we cannot do a very general. If we do it very general, then no one will use it. If we do it very specific, then it becomes
only
very,
a few
very
people
expensive.
use it. Yep.
Also, and to find the right balance between that and the use of technology, then we need to always take into account all the cost effectiveness of each product, right? So that's
because there's so much upkeep and software checks and updates that you might need to do. Did you do this in any other languages, or how many languages did you do this in?
Yeah, so actually, because it started collaboration already at the international level. So originally, I'm also from Spain, but I was based in Switzerland, so I didn't want to do something only for Spain. I like the country, so I have nothing against them, right? But I wanted to do it also something that we could use it there with hospitals in Switzerland. And Switzerland is very beautiful, rich in lakes, mountains, but also in languages. So we have 3 languages: Italian, German, and French. And of course, we wanted to do it in English.
Yeah, sure.
So now, so far, the software is developed in 4 languages: in Spanish, English, German, and French.
That is we could use absolutely incredible.
In I think 80% of Switzerland and in all.
That is
Spain.
incredible. That is absolutely incredible. So, what did you find? What were some of the outcomes of what you found in terms of how this worked and how it was used?
Yeah. So far we got the software developed, which is already something a whole challenge and a whole achievement. Amazing. We think. And now we are in the phase of testing it. So the software works in a way that the physiotherapist has access to their clinics. So we set up a clinic in each of the of the platform.
Okay.
And we introduce there or include setup accounts for physiotherapists, occupational therapists, and all the therapists that who want actually to use the software too. Once they do that, they have there a database of exercises, of videos that 2 very, 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 very kind students of the School of Physiotherapy in Valais have actually developed, and they put there.
Oh, wow.
I think there are around over 70 exercises with different difficulty levels, specific for children with cerebral palsy, GMFCS levels 1 to 3. So that's it's already very something valuable there, that the physios don't have to start with a blank page. Okay, I have the
my
software,
stick drawings are terrible. I'm not good at that.
So what they have to do then, the physio is log in with their account. I see the physio, but it's actually the therapist.
Yeah.
They log in with their account, and they are going to choose a patient to start a new session. With the session, they are going to include the exercises and set up the description and the materials that they may need to use, so that they are aware of if they need to prepare something for the session.
Sure.
But normally, I personally want that is nothing very far from what you can have at home.
Yeah.
So if you would need to use a stick, maybe use something that you have at home and not a specific stick that we have in therapy, because otherwise it doesn't serve the purpose. You set it for how long you want to do it.
Okay.
So the patient is going to receive instructions on how to download RehaBot and how to connect to their patient account, and to set up the alarms if they want as a notification and when they want to do the exercises, according also to the frequency that the therapist has set up in the application. If I want to do it twice a week, or if I want to proposing to do it twice a week or 3 times a week.
So it's very specific. The therapist can have a lot of control over what they would recommend. And then is the unique part about, all of it's incredible, but is the really unique part about this is that it's quite interactive, because there is that sort of, I guess, that chatbot is something that I haven't quite heard of.
So once the patient downloads it, then there are some stickers and dogs actually showing up that talk to you. Hello, welcome to the session. How are you doing today? And they can give options and they can chat with the application. So that would be, they do it in a more individual way for older kids, but the families can also be included there to do it with younger kids. And I think for families is maybe also something useful and interactive and motivating to do it, to increase the adherence to the treatment, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So then they are going to see the videos that the physio or that the therapist actually sent to them. The videos are just very individual videos. If you want to do your own videos, so you are just going to turn on the camera and do it as good as you can. So they are not really professional, but we want also to keep this
human interaction.
That's real. It's my therapist who is doing there, and it's not an avatar. It's not so the avatar could also be nice for younger kids to have animals doing the exercise for you or something like that. That is, but we don't want to get there because we think that it may also reduce how the kids perceive how these movements have to be done.
Sure.
So it's a little bit of a trade-off there between quality and motivation, right? Wow. And then at the end of each exercise, the patients are also asked about, was the exercise difficult? Was the exercise clear? Do you want to repeat the exercise? Do you want to leave a message to your therapist? So they can also say, I did it with another material, or I actually fell 3 times, or I hope it doesn't happen, right?
So you can give that feedback.
So they can give that feedback, and the therapist can also read that feedback afterwards and maybe modify the training according to that. But instead of losing that part of the therapist, when the patient arrives, how was the week? Did you do this? Did you do that? And so you can have everything in a very short and summarized report that can also be used to follow up longitudinally how the patient is doing it.
Wow, so it sounds so comprehensive. You've gone from right from the beginning, planning, the implementation, and the follow-up. It's that lovely collaborative ability to work with the families and the children, to be very specific. So, gosh, that sounds really exciting. So when do you think, where to from here? When can we get our hands on this?
So right now we are in the phase of testing it with the therapists and with families. Testing it only in terms of do you like the application? Do you from the user experience point of view? Do you like it? Do you think it's pretty? Because that's also important, right?
Of course,
Do you like the colors? Do you like the functionalities? Would you like to have other functionalities? So we have a list of future functionalities, and we are asking them also about the importance to already prioritize what we are going to work on next. So that's also part of working with the therapist and working with the patients and with the families to further develop this application. I think that's all we heard in the conference, in the use of technology in the past days, working with them, developing with them. So that's also what we are doing now.
Absolutely meets the needs.
The questionnaires are now going to be sent in a couple of weeks after they have done completed actually the 3 weeks session that they have for to test the application. And I hope next year at the next EACD in Bruges, I can actually bring some results on the feasibility and the user experience of this application.
That's wonderful. And I think this is the joy of being at conferences, is that you get to hear about things that are being developed right now. We know it takes, a few years for articles to be, put together and published. And by that stage, people could have benefited from it. So now that we know about it, we'll look out for it, and we will...
no pressure, right?
No. I think it's always one of those things we can add to our toolbox, because certain things will meet needs for certain families. We keep talking about matching that, and things aren't necessarily competing. They're just choices and options. And this is a great choice and an option. And you've already got so many languages covered. So it's pretty incredible as it is. So thank you so much for sharing this knowledge, sharing this work that you've been doing. I'm really excited to see where this is is going ahead.
No, thank you very much for having me, and I'm really happy to share my work here.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And I'm happy to discuss the future developments of RehaBot.
Absolutely.
With you guys.
No, I'll be definitely emailing you. We'll stay in touch for sure. I think this is really important. So
perfect.
Thank you very much. And to all of our listeners, I hope you enjoyed that too. Let's stay tuned for so many more new things that are coming along the way, and the conference has been fabulous for that. So yeah, I hope you've been enjoying, and we'll talk to you all again really soon. There's more to come. Bye.